Hey everybody, hope you guys are having a fabulous Saturday so far. I know it's early, but for you early morning risers, I hope that you guys are having a great one so far. And I hope you had a great week for the rest of you who might not be up at this point in time. And jumping in, this week we're going to be talking about, I guess, a bit of a mix of perseverance and intention. And, a lot of my clients are really goal-focused people who, they're really persevering through everything that life is throwing at them, and they're choosing to be better people and, really wanting to embrace everything that life can give them. And I think oftentimes when you're a very goal-focused person, we get into this trap of I can if I think I can. Now, there's a really good attitude to have. And the premise of it, right, is like, if you think you can't, well, then you're never going to even try. And so you absolutely have to have a positive outlook and a positive attitude as you're going through everything. But there's also, a difference of having a positive attitude and just like expecting that you're going to be good at something when you start. I think a lot of us were like, oh, okay, we want to pursue this, or we want to start this endeavor or this opportunity, if you will. And then when we are working at it, and we're not getting a lot of momentum, we really get frustrated, and we really get bogged down in the struggle of it because we're not necessarily getting the results that we desire, and we might not even be making the progress that we desire. Now, I want to use the analogy of like learning how to swim. I think it's kind of similar where a lot of people, when it comes to their goals, are like, I want to do this. And then they just jump in and pursue it. Well, if you think about it with swimming, it's great to have the intention and the goal that you're going to actually be able to swim. But this jumping into the pool or a lake, God forbid, when there's no one around, you're not just like going to be able to swim because you had the intention of doing it. And no matter how hard you flail and try to be able to swim, well, your intention doesn't matter anymore because you're probably going to drown. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's great to have intentions, but you can't always just jump into the pool, And so I think some of us, sometimes we forget that it's not just about, setting a goal and, pursuing it like a bull in a china shop, or we're just like giving it everything we've got. There still has to be planning and learning and getting help and asking for help and learning the skills required to get you to that goal, and obviously part of that is finding the right people to speak into our lives. Because if you think about it, if you're learning how to swim, if you have a coach, you might have a coach who's like, oh, well, let's just like throw them in the water. And, when they're about to drown, drag them back out. I don't think that would actually happen, but for the analogy's sake, but that doesn't help, and I think that, because if that's what you're saying, if you're saying, oh, just go and, make a big mess and I'll help you clean it up. Well, that doesn't always help, right? Because people, if you think about it, if you were almost about to drown, you're not going to really want to jump back into the water. And eventually you're going to get so disillusioned and really burnt out by the struggle of just continually being pushed in and dragged out, and then maybe told some tweaks to try and change, that it just doesn't really help you. You lose motivation, you lose faith, and you really lose your direction, right? And if you do find that you're having people speak into your life and direct you who are just basically pushing you into the deep end and just telling you to get crazy messy, and then, they'll help clean up. I mean, maybe there's a reason for it, but I would also step back and maybe question that maybe they're not necessarily the best coaches for you. And, obviously there is going to be a bit of a risk whenever you're starting a new endeavor and you have to get out of your comfort zone, but that's different. There's a difference of getting out of your comfort zone and completely like jumping into your no skill set area where you haven't taken the time to build the skills up to that, right? Because we always want to be pushing ourselves and getting out of our comfort zone. But, if we go too far, then we stretch ourselves too much. And, we don't really want to continue on that journey, right? And so it's that same idea of, if you're continually just jumping into the deep end of the pool and almost drowning, maybe, take the time to self-reflect and figure out what you can tweak. Because, coming back to this idea of finding the proper people to speak into your life and to help you with this, if you have somebody who helps support you swim, like a lot of us, myself included, I grew up around water. And so when I learned how to swim at first, I learned how to doggy paddle, right? Because I had people supporting me to do that. So would I drown if I got into the deep end? No, because I knew how to doggy paddle. But could I go and swim laps? Absolutely not, And so, if your goal is to be able to swim laps, well, you need to find people to help you who can teach you how to swim laps, not just be able to doggy paddle, right? And I know it sounds really simple, but I think it's really, really important, guys, because I've caught myself in this, way too much. And I think everybody does, where we just get caught up in this idea where we almost like wrap our entire self-images around this idea that, oh, we have this goal, and if we can't pursue it and we can't reach it, then we almost start judging ourselves for it. But it's like, but guys, you need to stop jumping into the deep end and actually take the time to learn and properly learn, go through the levels of swimming and build the confidence, and practice, and then continually progress and tweak and figure out what you can do to get better, because that's really how you're going to be able to reach your goals, and sometimes it feels a little bit slow and it's really frustrating, when we want to be able to just like run 1,000,000 miles a minute, or I guess swim, really fast and do our laps, because you're starting off and they're doing these like what seems to be really silly elementary starting techniques. But guys, in the long run, it's going to help you so much more, and you're not going to injure yourself. You're not going to burn yourself out, because you're going to have slowly built the capacity to deal with stuff. And I think that this is where faith really comes in. And regardless if it's a divine faith for you, if you will, there still has to be faith in yourself and faith in the process and in the results, because sometimes it seems like you're never going to get there. And it seems like you're just like, basically working backwards almost. And, you're putting all this effort into it and just never getting where you want to go. But that's where faith comes in, and I think people who do practice spirituality have a bit of a leg up in the sense, because they already know how to practice faith, and that's not to say that everybody who's not spiritual can't have faith. I'm just saying that it's almost like a skill set that people have already developed to be able to maintain their faith, and through the hard times and through the times where you might start to lose that belief. And so bringing that in, I just really encourage you guys to have faith that the process is working, but also have the courage, let's say this, have the courage to be able to admit that what you're doing isn't working and ask for help. And also to have the courage to start slow and take those baby steps, even though you want to run. With that, guys, I hope you guys have a really great day. I hope you have a great week, and stay safe and healthy, everyone.